Good afternoon and welcome to the latest in our Conga webinar series, Capturing eSignatures and Payments with Sertifi. My name is Chris Cook. I'm the Director of Business Development here at Conga. I'm responsible for the Conga Alliance Partner Program, and I have the pleasure of working with Conga partners like Sertifi to find solutions to make our customers even more successful. Conga integrates with many of the apps on the Salesforce App Exchange, and we encourage you to make purchase decisions based on your evaluation of these applications. Today, I'm pleased to be joined by Laura Johnston, Director of Sales at Sertifi, one of our Conga technology partners. In this 30-minute webinar, you'll get an introduction to Sertifi, you'll learn the benefits of eSignature and PCI compliance, and you'll also see a demo of Conga and Sertifi in action. A couple of housekeeping tidbits as well. We'll be doing open Q&A at the end of this webinar. If you have questions, please put them into the questions window. We'll also be muting all participants during the webinar, and this webinar is being recorded and will be available on our Conga website after this session. With that, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce Laura Johnston.
Thanks so much, Chris. Hello, everybody. Hope this finds you all doing well, and thanks so much for joining our Sertifi and Conga webinar. Like Chris mentioned, I'm Laura Johnston, the Director of Sales here at Sertifi. We'll go ahead and get started and just kind of dive right in, and I'll tell you a little about us as a company. We were established here in Chicago in 2006. Chicago is where our headquarters resides, and is also home to one of our largest and longest-standing customers, CareerBuilder.com. CareerBuilder has actually been with us since 2007, and we were recently named Vendor of the Year by them, which was a great honor. Along with CareerBuilder, we have thousands of customers that currently use our solution across a wide variety of industries, including, but not limited to, marketing and advertising, SaaS, hospitality, cloud services, and consulting. I think it's important to let you all know that we aren't just an electronic signature solution, rather a closing automation solution. We actually help you collaborate with your customers as well as collect PCI-compliant payments to make that last mile of your sales process a faster, more fluid one. This webinar is all about our integration with Conga, which we were really excited about. Our current Conga with Sertifi customers really appreciate how easy the solution works, how easy it is to work with us as salespeople together, and actually how seamless, it's a seamless way to automate that last mile of your close. Want to go to the next slide, Chris? Cool. We have an overall rating of a 4.9 on the App Exchange, which we are really happy about because it's actually the highest rating in our category. You'll see here we've highlighted a review written by a Conga and Sertifi customer, and I encourage you to head over to the App Exchange to take a look at all of our reviews. Like I mentioned before, we don't have a niche market that we work with, as you can see by a handful of our Sertifi for Salesforce customers that we work with here. Our customers, both domestically and internationally, we can actually work with just about any use case in any industry. And as a business, you obviously want what's best for your customers. And given the option, 97% of our signers prefer to sign electronically, which tells you that there is a way to improve your current workflow so it's easier for your customers to do business with you. If you want to go to the next slide. Next one. And with that being said, as far as the 97%, we are seeing our current customers actually getting their contracts signed more than 50% faster than traditional methods. And if you want to go to the next slide, Chris, you can actually see here by a Conga Sertifi customer, HomeSphere, by using our solution together with Conga, they reduce costs by no longer needing an internal developer, decrease support time, we're able to track and manage every deal, and also increase customer satisfaction. So you'll see also on the next slide a little, some more benefits, including speeding up the sales process, eliminating high costs, and enhancing security and reducing PCI scope. We'll talk a little bit more about that and show you the, how it works in the demo that Chris is going to do, as well as the payment portion. And then we'll have the Q&A at the end of Chris's demo. So that's my, wrap up of who we are and what we do, and we'll get to the Q&A after Chris's demo. But before then, I do want to go to the next slide. We have a giveaway for a $100 Visa gift card that will be emailed to you electronically. If you want to go ahead and write your answer to this question in the chat box, and the first person to answer the question correctly will be our winner, and we'll notify you after the webinar. So the question is, what U.S. President signed the eSign Act into law using an electronic signature? We'll let you mull that over for a couple seconds, and then Chris, if you want to go ahead and jump into the demo, and then we'll do our Q&A after, we're all set.
Super, Laura, thank you so much. And thank you everyone on the phone. Thank you for your lightning fast answers to the question already. So we will hold on to those and announce that winner of the gift card at the end of this demo. So thanks very much. What I really want to highlight today in the integrated Conga Composer Sertifi demo is a couple of different solutions, really talking about, as Laura mentioned, that last mile, that contract or quote signature, the payment pieces, and wrapping up that kind of sales process and accelerating that. I'm going to show you three solutions. One I'm going to call the fast solution, the second solution, which is the faster solution, and the third, which is the fastest solution. I know it's all about speed and velocity when it comes to this part of that process. So I'm assuming you're all relatively familiar with Conga Composer, so this should not come as a brand new look and feel to this process. But what I want to start off with is on a opportunity, and I want to show a typical quote proposal type solution based on the Salesforce opportunity. So in this case, we're going to be using some information from the account, in this case 110 Technologies, information from the opportunity products, also some information from our contact roles as well, to generate a quote document and then be able to send that through to the Sertifi for Salesforce process for that signature. So what I'm going to start with here is a typical Conga Composer custom button called Create Quote with Sertifi. By clicking this button, you'll see a very familiar user interface. This is our Conga Composer 8 interface. We're gathering information together from that opportunity, from those contacts, from those opportunity products. And we've already pre-selected a proposal document. So in the Conga Composer template list, you'll see one here that is set with Sertifi. We've pre-selected that. We've also pre-selected our output options to go right to Sertifi. And you'll notice at the bottom right-hand corner that with that parameter and instruction that sits in that Create Quote button on the opportunity page layout, we've put in some Sertifi parameters that have pre-selected this is the method of delivery. So we're going to be able to populate this quote or proposal document. We're going to send it via Sertifi once it's been generated from Conga Composer. I'm going to go ahead and do that. So we're generating that document, and now we're going to land on the Sertifi for Salesforce page. We've pre-selected a couple of options here as well. You'll notice that it creates a folder in Sertifi. The signing method is defaulted to electronic. There's also print, sign, and fax options as well, or you can choose either one of those. But by default in the settings, this default settings allows for that signing method to be preset. And when you think about the use cases and the purposes of this, 99 or 97, as Laura said, % of those customers would rather sign electronically. Okay, you can actually add contacts or add email addresses as those signers, but you'll notice down at the bottom that we've already selected Melanie Glover as our first signer and Casey Cooley as our second signer as part of that Conga integration. So signer number 1, Melanie Glover, is our technical buyer, and our second signer is the economic decision maker. These are all based on those opportunity contact roles. So we were able to specify as part of the Conga integration, pre-select those signers when sending this for e-signature. And that would be for any opportunity. So we've built that in so regardless of the opportunity you're initiating this from, it would send those signers. All right, we're going to go ahead and click Next. We've selected those. You can remove, you can add other folks at this point. The next step is going to take us to a section where we can add additional content, and we can also add payment information here. And I'm going to probably stop here in a moment and ask Laura to elaborate a little bit, but I wanted to show you the payment request information. And this is very different from some other e-signature tools you may have worked with. We were able to, as part of that Conga solution in that button, also pre-populate a description for that particular payment. So now when the recipient sees it, it is saying this is a payment description for 110 Technologies, and I'm using the opportunity type. In this case, it's existing business. Using that value, you could use an opportunity name, you could use an order number, you can pre-populate that payment description with some opportunity or static text information. We've also told it to pre-select the actual dollar amount of that opportunity as the payment and set it as a recurring one-time payment as opposed to a monthly payment. If you were, for example, sending monthly opportunities or monthly invoices, you could also have those be one-time or monthly payments as well. So this has been pre-selected again in that Conga Composer button code. We're going to add that payment information to that folder, and now what we have in this folder is a combination of that signed Conga Composer document that we generated and that payment request. And now what we're going to do, go ahead and send that for signature. You'll notice it says this has been sent. We will return back to our opportunity. I will hop over to my email that's associated with this, and what we'll see right away is an email that came from me since I'm the user, and since the company that I'm generating this from is called Worlds Away in my demo org. What you'll see then is the signer email that they'll receive. You'll be able to see here it says who this came from. It gives us the name of that folder, the document, and allows us to click here to review and sign that document. Laura, anything else on this this screen that you'd want to elaborate on? Is there anything in here that I'm missing as far as what that signing experience is going to start with?
Yeah, so that email is just all HTML, so you guys can customize it to whatever you want it to say. We also do the custom branding, so it can have your logo in it, all of that. So it's the look and feel of your customer or of your company. It doesn't have anything to do with Sertifi, which is nice because that alleviates any confusion of who's signing this or who's sending this to me. All of the information's there for you, so it's 100% customizable.
Terrific. Thank you so much. That's exactly what I wanted you to speak on, because I know that in some other cases you'll see the e-signature provider prominently displayed in the email body and in the logos, and being able to brand this from a user experience is terrific. So at this point, as the recipient, just so you know that I set myself up with this email for this demo, so it'll all be kind of happening through my side, but I'll show you what that process looks like. And what you'll see here is that signature screen to review and sign that actual contract. And you'll also see, since we had submitted that payment information, that the payment information is now here on this screen as well. And this is something that's really, I think, sets Sertifi apart as well, is this collaboration tool, or you guys used to call it Deal Tracker, or I think it was called Deal Tracker before, but allows the recipient to post questions or comments specifically to this particular signature document and payment piece. Laura, do you want to say a little bit more about this feature? Because I think it really, really sets you guys apart.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So yes, you're right. A collaboration tool basically is what we call it. It's a way for the sender and signer to ask questions or comment without having to write an email or a phone call, whatever it might be. So it's really nice. It gives it a really easy, flawless way for the customer. They might go into the document and have a question about it, and they can actually post a question right there and then, and it will go back into Salesforce. So not only is the user going to get the comment via email, they're also going to get it back in Salesforce. So then you have a full audit trail. So maybe a couple months goes down, down the road, the there's a new rep on the account, and there was some things said back and forth, and it's not just hearsay, it's actually back in Salesforce, so you can see the full audit trail of what's going on. Also, too, I want to add is that this is a feature that you can turn on or off. So while the majority of users use it, we do have some use cases where they just want to jump right into the document for signature, which is also available.
Got it. And that's, Laura, something that you can actually set up in the configuration of Sertifi for Salesforce, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. It's actually just a button during our settings. When we walk you through implementation and setup, we talk about that, and we can actually turn it on or off for you.
Super. So. Wonderful. So at this point, me as the signer and recipient, I'm going to go ahead and review and sign this document. This is what the signing experience is going to look like. It's going to take us through that template, and you'll see here's my Conga generated quote with information for myself, Melanie, who's the first signature, information from us as or them from the customer as 11 Technologies, and then here's our kind of very rich Conga quote. You'll recognize this as breaking up those products by product family, looking at widgets and software. We're subtotaling some pieces, so this is all kind of straight Conga. But you'll notice there's a signature here to allow me to sign. We built the Sertifi signing tags into this template. I'm going to go ahead and sign as Melanie and finish and submit electronically, and that process is all done. So that's been signed. It will now go on to the second signature. But what I want to stop on here is the submit payment piece as well. So any of the signers along this process, once they sign that, finish that signing, the eSig process, can come here and submit a payment. At this point, you can put in your billing address, credit card information, and actually pay right here as well. It is not a separate process. So being able to do the e-signature and be able to do payment at the same time, terrific feature that we're very, very thrilled with. So I'm not going to go through this right now just because I don't want to charge $16,000 to a credit card, but you populate this information, and this can also be customized so that you have your referral information. You've got information here if those customers have got questions about payments to be able to submit it there. Okay, I'm going to cancel this, and I'm going to go ahead and go back to my opportunity. So what you'll notice here too is that an actual e-contract related object was associated with this opportunity when we generated that. You can go into that e-contract, you can see all the information, you can see the account this is associated to, the opportunity, you can see what that document was that was sent. You've got your signers, signer first and second signers are related here as well. You can also see if there's any payments that have been set up or are outstanding or paid. And then a really great feature is all of the activity associated with that particular Sertifi e-contract. So when the invitation was sent, when I accessed it, when it was signed, when the document was signed, when the next signature was actually created as well. So a great history to show those status. One thing I really like about this is also this e-contract, you can build standard Salesforce dashboards, workflows, reports around this information, in addition to what Sertifi offers from their own dashboarding, but you could trigger information based on these records, so very beneficial from that standpoint. Okay, great. So that's the quoting solution. I'm going to go back now to our second, faster solution. I'm going to run this from a related contract, and this contract is on that same account, but now we're actually in a custom contract object. This is a regular Salesforce custom object contract with some information. We've got an associated opportunity. You could have associated assets, you could have associated installations, whatever that might be. We've got some contract start and end dates, some term information, so information that's very specific to this particular contract record. We also notice that we have Melanie, our old friend, is here as the customer signed by contact. And what we built is a contract solution, the faster solution of the three, where we're going to actually do a one-click contract where it's going to generate that contract and create the Sertifi e-contract as well, deliver that with our pre-selected output option, with our first signer as Melanie pre-selected as well. So this will speed up that process again. So this is what's called Conga background mode, if those of you who are familiar. So we're not seeing the UI, it's automatically generating that document, sending it, creating that e-contract, and delivering it into Melanie Glover's email, all in background mode. So within a matter of 10 seconds, we've created that document, sent it, and you'll notice we land here on the actual e-contract. So you can see that the document's been created, there's the signer. So instead of going back to the opportunity, or sorry, the contract in this case, there's an option within Conga Composer in the background to land on this contract. We could also, with a different parameter, land back on that object where we started, so on that contract, okay? So again, a much quicker way. We've pre-selected the template, all the recipients, that's all been done on the Conga side. And again, that can be a one-click solution. And then the signing experience is going to be similar on the receiver's end. They're going to be able to review the document, create payment information as they wish as well. So nice for those processes where you don't need to have any user selection or user variance, be able to select that directly. So one thing I did want to comment on is, since we're starting this from the contract, Sertifi has a settings feature that can alter and kind of change and customize the behavior of this particular e-contract. And since we launched this from a contract record, I created another settings record and settings object within Sertifi to really alter and give you a lot of customization around the behavior of this particular e-contract. I'd love to dig into that more often, but we're kind of running short on time. That's something you could definitely ask and follow up with your Sertifi folks as well. So we've done the regular Conga UI, send. Now we've done the e-contract with the one-click solution from the contract record. What I'd like to show now is the fastest method, which is going to be our batched invoice process using a list view of opportunities within Salesforce. So this is using Conga Conductor. Those of you who know our batched product add-on to Conga Composer allows for this batch sending. So what we've done here is created a solution that pre-selects Sertifi as our delivery method. It also pre-selects the economic decision maker as the recipient, and presets all of those pieces. So very similar to that one click from the contract, but in this case we've built the solution on a list view where the user could go in and create a list view of, in this case, opportunities, and we could select all of our closed won opportunities to select for an automated invoice send via Sertifi. You can do up to 500 records with Conga Conductor in this distributed batch, but it allows the user to do that with one button click. We're generating a Conga Conductor process where it's going to take those individual records, in this case those opportunities, create an invoice document and send it to that economic decision maker on the contact roll, and you'll see a Conga Conductor message screen that says we've selected 8 opportunities. We want to send this via Sertifi. So it's a quick process. You can come in, select these, confirm that they're the ones you want to send with the list view, initiate that process, and what Conga Conductor is doing is going down one at a time, generating all of those documents and sending them to those recipients via Conga Conductor and Sertifi. This can also be scheduled and run on a schedule with a report as opposed to a list view. So 3 really quick ways that you can maximize the use of Sertifi for e-signature and payment, along with 3 different Conga Composer solutions. So again, thank you guys. It's really quick demo that way, but gives you at least an idea of kind of the fast ways you can use Conga in conjunction with Sertifi. I'm going to hop back to your question, and we do have a winner of the e-signature, e-sign act into law. Our first answer is from Sheila Northrup, and she mentioned that it was George Bush who signed that. Laura, is that correct?
It's actually not.
Oh, then Sheila, I'm sorry, but you will not be winning the $100 Visa card. I'm so sorry. I built you up for that. I do have another guess of Bill Clinton.
That would be correct. It's actually today is the 15th anniversary of the eSign Act of 2000, which he signed.
Wonderful.
So yes, that's correct.
Sheila, I'm so sorry. I hope I didn't disappoint you. But the first correct winner was Andrew Dodge. So Andrew, thank you so much. I will get all your information to Laura. And then other questions. I had a couple questions that came in, Laura, that I want to ask. Is there a way to obtain signatures on one document from contacts at multiple organizations? So I guess my question would be, or yes, my question and answer to that would be, and Laura, hop in. In that Sertifi e-signature screen where we pre-selected those recipients, from Salesforce you can use a contact record, contact ID. You can also just use an email, and this is a question that's going out for JJ Trout. So there's a variety of ways you could do it. With the contacts at multiple organizations, you could use contact roles to identify that, because the contact roles will not be germane to that particular account. You could also, JJ, just pre-select a particular email address as well, so it would not have to be from the same organizations. Okay?
Correct. Yep.
Question from David Nolan. Is Sertifi licensed for non-Salesforce.com users as like client approvers? I would say absolutely, and kind of the same question from JJ Trout around the other approvers. It would just require an email address or a contact. Is that correct, Laura?
Yes, you don't. Yes, so we base users off of people who are actually sending documents for signature, not those signing. The signers don't need anything except an email address for verification, so they don't need an app or anything like that, just an email.
Beautiful. Okay, so if that email address is stored somewhere in Salesforce, or if you just want to manually put those in at the time, JJ and David, you can do that. From Jim Hegney, and I apologize if I mispronounced that, is Conga version 8 required to use Sertifi? It is not. Conga version 7 is usable with Sertifi, but I would always recommend Conga Composer version 8, because there is some new functionality, Jim, in Composer 8 that would allow you to take advantage of all of those features. So always recommend using Composer 8 with Sertifi. Okay. Some of the background mode and some of the faster objects where we were able to pre-select those recipients and go through that background mode, some of those features and some of the payment features are only available in Composer 8. Okay. Paul Kincaid, thank you so much for the question. Laura, one here is, can we use your own gateway and merchant account for payments?
Yep, absolutely. So that's what we're actually doing. We're using your current processor and just using a gateway into that processor. So what Chris showed you, the actual filling out the billing address and the credit card information, that was actually just a hosted gateway that we're using. So that's the nice thing. Nothing will change on your back end. You guys are still receiving, through your processor, and we just figure out with your merchant ID, or if you need a gateway, we can set you up with one of those as well.
Wonderful, super. Jim also had a follow-up question, so talking about authorize.net, so that could certainly be used and set up, Jim, regarding those payments.
Yep, absolutely. And authorize.net we actually launched not too long ago, so we have both credit card capability with them and ACH.
Wonderful, super. Andrew Dodge also asked about, can this functionality be called from Salesforce 1 on a mobile device? And
yep,
from
absolutely.
From the Conga side of things, it definitely can, and also from the Sertifi side as well. Yep, absolutely. Wonderful. Eric is there as well. I'm going to say Hoke or Hawk. If Conga is not used to generate the estimate or document, if it's very customized and is uploaded into Salesforce.com, can Sertifi be used for the e-signature pieces? Absolutely. That screen that you saw where the Conga document was preloaded as that delivery document or signing document, I'm assuming at that screen, Laura, you can update and add as many documents or non-signed documents as you want at that point.
Yes, correct.
Super.
And there's a couple different ways you can do that, whether it's pulling from a hard drive using related notes and attachments or Salesforce folder.
Yep. So I would suggest the best thing to do would be to install Sertifi for Salesforce from the App Exchange, get a trial started, and contact Sertifi to work on those pieces because they're terrific and their support is top-notch as well. So we are very, very fortunate to have them as a partner. My other question that I wanted to make sure that we asked is talking all about, you mentioned custom branding. What I wanted to ask too was pricing for Sertifi and also the number of users required for that solution too, Laura. So if you want to talk a little bit about pricing.
Yeah, absolutely. We do have a minimum user requirement of 5 users, and we start out at $15 a user. Off the rate card without Conga, it's actually $20 a user, but we just match that. So $15 a user, minimum of 5 users, and with that, everything is included as far as implementation, setup, IT support, unlimited documents sent, customer support, and training. The payment request portion is an additional fee. It's just based on how many transactions or how many requests that you send out. So I'd be more than happy to get that to you guys if you have specific numbers that you think you'll send out. We just have them in tiers, so I can get that information for you, no problem.
Super. So it's very similar to Conga Composer licenses from a pricing standpoint, minimum quantity standpoint, and a support functionality as well. So I moved the next slide. If you have specific questions, please feel free to contact Laura directly, download from the App Exchange as well, and then for Conga customers, from a integration with a Conga solution or building a new Conga Composer with Sertifi solution, you can most definitely contact your Conga business analyst. We'll be happy to walk you through that process to connect those two and build any one of those 3 solutions that you saw before. So that was all the questions that I had. If anybody else has any other questions, otherwise, we thank you very, very much for attending today. And on behalf of Laura, thank you, Laura, for presenting as well. We appreciate all of your support and business, and any questions that you might have, please feel free to contact me, support@congamerge.com for any integration questions, and Laura directly for questions around Sertifi. Thanks everyone very much.